Hello, my name is Edudel. How it's going? It's been a long time since my last devlog. More on that later. Now I have a great announcement. You can now wishlist my game on Steam, and I can stop referring to it as my first game remake. I present to you Mistgard. The name of the original game, Prisoner, was too generic, so I decided to come up with a better name and add some story to the game. I won't spoil anything, but the meaning of the game will be revealed at the end of the game. Let's see what's new since last episode. I implemented a new enemy, save system, leveling system, a dialogue system to introduce the player to the story, cinematics, a game over screen, a persistent system. This last system will let the game remember what the player did and configure the scene when loading a previous game. These systems are a huge milestone to Mistgard, as they let me start building the first level. And I spent some time implementing occlusion cooling for optimization. I also added a tutorial to the start of the game. What do you think? It changes depending on what device you are using, keyboard or gamepad. By far, the hardest system to make was the cinematics one. I had almost no idea about timelines in Unity, but I found this video to help me a lot. But using timelines wasn't enough to create this system. I had to connect it with the rest of the system to avoid bugs. For example, when starting a cinematic, the input manager should stop the player and ignore its input, and the save system has to remember what cinematics have been played, to avoid repetition. However, all the hard work was worth it and the system is done. The new enemy I implemented is the ranged one. Different from the melee soldier, this enemy will look for a good spot to shoot the player, and it comes in 3 variants: static, wandering, and patrolling. In this version of Mistgard, when you defeat an enemy, it drops experience balls. These balls will move towards the player and add points to its experience component. When the needed experience to level up is met, the player can upgrade one ability. For now, you can only increase attack or health, but there will be more abilities in the future. For example, if you play the original game, link in the description, you know that there is another weapon after defeating the first boss. Once you unlock it, you will be able to upgrade it as well. And I was thinking about making the roll mechanic have a cooldown. I think it would be cool to upgrade that cooldown as well when you level up, if you choose to do it, of course. As for plans for the game's release, it will happen at the end of this year. But in the meantime, I have prepared some surprises. You can wishlist Mistgard on Steam and don't miss any new updates, and it will help me a lot with Steam's algorithm. There is a link in the description. Thank you! Next in my to-do list is completing the first level. It will end with the first boss fight. It's a giant soldier. I have already the 3D model. This boss will be defeated with the new weapon I told you earlier, and after beating it, another section of the game will start. In the original game, the second part was pretty short. A couple of rooms and you will face the final boss. I'm planning on expanding this part on Mistgard, but I will tell you about that in another devlog. To sum up, the first part will act as a tutorial and introduction to the mechanics for the game. The second one will expand on these ideas and give the player more freedom to explore the prison on which the game takes place. To end this devlog, I would like to talk about the recent lack of videos. If you are an old subscriber, you might remember Octokeeper. It was an old project I abandoned, for various reasons. The most important one was burnout, and I was making the same mistakes on Mistgard. I was working a full-time job at the time, and all my free time was spent on making that game. But on top of that, I made a self-obligation of uploading a devlog every week. That led to me thinking about the content for the weekly videos, and I was rushing mechanics to have something to show. That approach is horrible to develop again, but I didn't see it at the time. And honestly, I started doing it in Mistgard, but in a much smaller amount. I should make a devlog video whenever a big milestone is met, not in a regular basis. That way I won't have the pressure to rush things and have something to show. Hope you understand what I mean. I only want the best for this project and my mental health. The good news is that with this new approach of development, I will complete the game in a few months. I will make less videos, but you can follow me on Twitter, where I post regular content. Thank you so much for watching these videos and have an interest on Mistgard. Don't forget to wishlist the game and subscribe if you enjoy this devlog. As always, any feedback about Mistgard or my thoughts is welcome. It's what helps me the most. Thanks for watching. See you next time.